Hello, and welcome to Tales from a Greybeard. I'm your Greybeard, Dave. This is my first video in this series, and this is an introductory. I've actually made a few other videos and shown them to some friends. They said I need an introduction. So this is me. This is a picture of me with my son Liam. We're out in Los Angeles. We were there looking for colleges and stopped by the beach. So that's what I look like. You can also see me in the video. I was born in New York City. I think in that building. I'm not really sure. I was 4 when we left, so I don't really know. I've worked for a bunch of different places. These are the logos of some of them. Reliable Response, that one down in the lower left-hand corner, was my startup. It did okay for a bit. And then PagerDuty kicked our butt. Okay, so these videos, I'm going to cover bunch of different topics. See, from the previous slide, you can see I've been in the industry for a while. This is probably a third of the places I've worked. It's just a smattering of some that I could find the logos for still, honestly. A bunch of them were startups that failed in the 90s, and there's no logos for them any longer. But, I've been a software developer. Well, I started coding when I was in 5th grade. I got a few jobs doing like side work in middle school and really got serious about it in high school. I've been coding professionally since 1995, including for a bunch of well-known, a bunch of totally not known companies. Well-known RSA Security. They're the reason why you can shop securely online. Google makes a search engine and does some cell phone stuff. Vrbo is vacation rental by owner, owned by Expedia Group. These are some well-known places, as well as a bunch of teeny little startups. So I'm going to talk about management because I've been a manager since 2013. Going back and forth to software developer some because I missed the industry and wanted to keep up. And I've got a lot of thoughts on this. I've been spending a lot of time trying to hone my management style, and I think I've got something that I like, and I think it's worth getting that down. Career guidance. I want to talk about a lot of things for newer software developers, university students, that sort of stuff. I get questions on Reddit, LinkedIn. I one-on-one mentor people, and career guidance always comes up. Hey, this is what I'm interested in. What should I do? Hey, I'm having this problem at work. How do I resolve this? Hey, I'm feeling a little stuck. I can talk about that stuff, and I'll make videos. There's tech nowadays that the history of it isn't really obvious, and you'll understand it better when you understand the history. A really good one is, what is XML? What is JSON? Well, there's a history of different markups that allow you to structure data and present it in a machine and programming language independent way. That's just an example. So I'll have some videos on some of the background of some of the more interesting tech today and what it looked like back in the 90s. And then there's always going to be the stories of the good old days. One thing that drives me crazy about people talking about the good old days, the good old days sucked. I mean, things are so much better now, particularly in tech. People who pine for the days where Emacs was the best IDE, maybe I disagree with them. Let's put it that way. But I'll have some good stories, some stuff that I think people would find interesting. People ask me why I'm doing this. Some people tell me that it would be interesting to others. Some of the people I mentor say that it would be very useful, that they wish they had this before they contacted me. But other people don't quite get it, so that's why I'm explaining the slide. I want to get all this down before I retire and forget all about it. I figure I've got about 10 years left in the industry based on my savings and my age and that sort of stuff. And I'd like to get this all down before I retire. And as soon as I retire, it's all gone. It's easier than writing to do these, maybe. But I'm not doing this because I want to make money. I'm not going to ask you to smash the subscribe button. I'm not going to do any of that sort of stuff. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, fine, whatever. If you like these, please share them with other people who'd be useful, not because I need the subscribers. I don't. I make my money by being an engineering manager, not by being a YouTube celebrity. But if people would find it interesting, please share it with them. Why should you watch this? I think this is a very fair question. If you're already watching this, I'm hoping you have some reason, because watching some middle-aged dude blather on doesn't seem terribly interesting unless you have a reason. So if you're entering tech and you want some advice from an older person who's done it, I've been a hiring manager a lot, and so I can also represent the side of the hiring manager. I can give you advice on your career, how to interview, that sort of stuff. If you want a new manager or want some practical advice, I'm not going to tell you stuff like leadership is different than management and you have to bring your whole self. No, I talk about, this is my process. Do this meeting at this time. In this meeting, this is what this tool is useful for. This stuff is not useful. Don't do it. You get a lot of advice when you're a new manager. This is more like instruction. If you used to report to me, you may find this interesting. See if I'll admit to where I fucked up. Spoiler, I will. There's a number of people I've left in my wake that were unhappy reporting to me. And in thinking about it afterwards, I didn't do well by them. And I actually did poorly in a number of places. I let emotions take over, or just got busy and crazy and sucked up into my head. And in retrospect, that wasn't good for the people I worked with. So I want to talk about those so that people can see, mistakes are made and things don't always go perfectly. If you're interviewing me for a job and want to see what I'm like unfiltered, this is a good place to do it. In interviews, I'll have like a half hour and people will ask me like 5 questions, maybe 45 minutes for 5 questions. That's 9 minutes a question. That's not a lot of time. And some of these questions are like, what's your management style? Well, I kind of need like a 20-minute video to explain that. So these are those 20-minute videos. Finally, I just want to talk about these slides. You can see I've got white slides with black text on it. These are literally the most pictures I've put in any of these slides so far. I think you can count on me not having super interesting slides. These are here to help me organize my thoughts, remind me of what I'm talking about, and to provide sort of a reference. I'll put the links to the slides in all the videos I made so you can download them and take a look. All right, well, I'm hoping that you will find the future videos interesting. I realize this one probably wasn't super fascinating, but if the topics look good and my motivations look good, I would very much like if you could check out some of my future videos, and hopefully they'll be useful for you. So thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in a future video.